tonight we have our guest back, Steve Montrelli.
And when Don hired me, he asked me he had me come out there to Ed Pink's on a Sunday afternoon, and he opened this garage door, and there's 3 chassis and 3 bodies, and there's no tin, there's no paint, there's no motors, there's no nothing. And he says, these things got to be ready in 8 weeks. We went to Phoenix, Arizona. Actually, it wasn't Phoenix. It was, we went to Scottsdale, Arizona, which was one of the older racetracks. We went there with 3 race cars. The other 2 cars didn't qualify, and I needed to get to know Don, and he needed to get to know how I tuned. So what we did is we just went up there and we made a few runs, and we qualified number 8. And this was a 32-car show, so they ran 16 cars. They ran 32 cars on Saturday night, and then there would be 16 for Sunday. Well, first round on Saturday night, we'd made about 4 runs with the car now. Well, I kind of knew where Don was with the driving, and so we started getting after the motor. Well, we run low ET and top speed of the meet the first round on Saturday night. So Sunday, we won the race. And so we had to run 3 rounds on Sunday, 1 on Saturdays. Well, the next race is Pomona. So we go to Pomona, and it's 2 weeks later, and they had put a brand new racetrack in, brand new blacktop. Well, nobody could get traction. Well, when I ran the Mickey Thompson car, I used to run high gear only, and I used to run a smaller tire, a smaller fuel pump, but high gear only, and a lot of weight on the clutch. And I said to Don, we're sitting in the staging area, and I said, Don, the only way we're going to get down this racetrack is make a couple of changes. And he says, well, do whatever you got to do. So we go out, we qualify number 8 there. So the race gets rained out, so we have to wait till the next weekend, and the race gets rained out a second time. Well, we're supposed to be going back east. This is the first part of the year. This is the Winter Nationals, the second race of the year at that time. Now they have Pomona, the first race of the year. So after that race, we were supposed to be in West Palm Beach, Florida, to do a Goodyear tire test. So we had to postpone that for 2 weeks. Finally, when we got done with the race at Pomona, we had won the race at Pomona. We left on Sunday night and drove straight through to West Palm Beach, Florida. When we unloaded the car, the car just had black clutch dust all over it. The truck and trailer were just absolutely filthy dirty. But at West Palm Beach, when you pull in there, there's a big college. And all these college kids came over and helped us clean everything and get it ready for the tire test. It was just amazing.
That's called having a big crew working on your car.
Absolutely. It was just a ball. And anyways, we made, I don't know, a lot of runs. I probably am exaggerating, but I think in the 3 days that we did the tire test, we made about 21 runs.
Now, who actually sponsors the tire test? Is it the tire company that helps fund the fuel and all the work and the parts when you do something like this?
Well, what they did is they basically hired us to do the test. And what you do is you come in and you make the first run with whatever tire they want you to put on the car. And then you have to keep the tune-up just the same. You can't hop it up. You can't do anything. They want to just test tires now. They'll probably bring 5 or 6 different compounds of tires, and we'll test them all over the weekend. And they pay us so much money a run, which pays for the fuel and the wear and tear on the car.
What do they look for on the tires, Steve, when you're running a tire test like this? What are the ground rules when you look at tires for testing? What are they? Is it something that you would learn from this, or is it just people who manufacture the tires?
Well, I think at that point, in those days, they were learning. We had no calibrations of any sort on the car. Probably the only thing we would really notice if we would have run one set of tires 10 runs or something, or 3 runs or 4, maybe they would start blistering or something like that. But basically, we put a different tire on every run, maybe 2 runs, and that worked. They got their information. They would check the temperature after the burnout. They probably checked the temperature at the end of the racetrack. I don't quite remember exactly how it all worked, to be very honest with you. It's been a long time. But they got all the information, and then they decided this is the tire we're going to go to Gainesville, which was 2 weeks later. So what we did is we just left our rims with them, and when we got to the racetrack, we would get our rims and tires that they would already be mounted. But everybody would get the best tire. Everybody that came into the racetrack would go over there, take their rims over there, and get the tires we tested that Goodyear thought would be the best for that race.
Were there any other tires manufactured at that time to run in drag racing?
Well, there was M&H, and there was just M&H, I believe, and M&H was a real small company, and they're still out here today, right now, and it's Goodyear, M&H, and Hoosier now.
It's a Hoosier tire, huh?
Right, and those are the three. Most of the alcohol cars today are running the Hoosier tire. Goodyear doesn't, they kind of got out of that class. Basically, Goodyear does the NHRA 300-mile-an-hour fuel cars, funny cars, and dragsters.